Hello, friends. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Usually I meet y'all on Thursdays, but it's almost Thanksgiving. Yay! What's everybody doing for Thanksgiving this year? All right, let's find the chat. I'm really excited to talk about today's topic because I've been seeing a lot of panic everywhere. I don't know what's going on, but everybody's losing their minds. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about not losing our god dang minds. Okay. So, what do I mean by blogger panic? Let's start there. Y'all have seen it. It runs rampant in Facebook groups, especially. Hopefully, not mine as much. Try to control it a little bit. uh, every time there is a Google update, right? One of the later ones was ADA compliance. The mass exodus from Siteground. Good morning, Paulette. How are you? I want to preface this by saying I'm not saying these things aren't important. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about them. You definitely should care about ADA compliance, right? I'm just saying we all need to like chill out a little bit. Look, I wore this shirt just for this. Stay chill, people. Stay chill. Freaking out about this stuff doesn't do anybody any good. It does not do anybody any good. And blogging changes at a lightning fast pace, and it will never stop changing. That is the life that you signed up for. Stay chill, especially this weekend season. Yeah. That's the life you signed up for. And a lot of us don't realize that. Well, one, when you become an entrepreneur, you sign up for a, a lifetime of things happening that you need to fix. I was like, how do I say this? But that doesn't mean it has to be bad, right? Things are always going to happen. Things are always going to break. Uh, Google is going to update its algorithm. The social media platform that you relied on for 80% of your traffic is going to decide to go haywire. Pinterest, cough, Pinterest. you know, these things are going to continue to happen. And you do not have to look at them as a bad thing every time they happen. I look at Google updates as an opportunity. Google updates can be an opportunity for you instead of something you stress out about once every 3 months. And if we stress out and panic and buy into the herd mentality where we're in a blogging Facebook group and one person is freaking out about the upcoming Google update and a couple more freak out, and then we think maybe we should be freaking out too. It's a survival mechanism, right? Hi, Rebecca. Hey, Amy. It's a survival mechanism, right? We see the herd around us getting spooked and we're like, shit, what are they spooked about? Should I be spooked too? I want to survive. I don't want to get eaten by Scar, right? We're the wildebeests in Lion King. And the hyenas start the stampede, right? And the reason when one wildebeest starts running, that they all start running, is because they think that guy over there is running from something and I better run from it too. Wow, that's a big hi Amy. So it's a survival mechanism, right? It is natural for us to look around and see what's scaring everybody else and be scared by it too. So when you are worrying about the panic of the week, and that's just the thing, like if you start really paying attention, there is a new blogging panic of the week pretty much every week. That's a lot of panic, y'all. That's a whole lot of panic. So ask yourself, do I really need to worry about this? Like, do I, in my particular situation with my blog and my business and the way I have set things up, do I need to worry about this? Or am I just getting freaked out because everyone else is freaking out? It's good it's a good idea to have this little chat with yourself. Hey, is this something that I actually need to worry about? Maybe the answer is yes, and that's okay. If the answer is yes, that's okay. And I'll tell you why in a second. I'm building up to something. And I encourage you to spend less time in Facebook groups that are constantly encouraging you to freak out about stuff. Make note of when you feel triggered to panic. Chances are it's often after reading the same person's email, Facebook group post, etc. There are a few people in our space that like to spook the herd and they profit off of it. I watch it happen. It's really annoying. Um, just don't, just, yeah, pay attention. Yeah. Amy says, I totally agree. Get out of those groups. Yeah. Or if you want to stay in the group, mute that person. You can do that. I don't because I like to keep an eye on what people are telling my students that I need to combat. And not all people are out there with a nefarious motive, right? There are definitely people out there with nefarious motives. I 100% see people spooking the herd for the sake of their bottom line. Like they're causing a panic and then they make a product to profit off of it. I see that. But a lot of people are just reacting, right? They're not trying to amp up the panic. It's just they're reacting. They're trying to stay alive, right? It's that natural instinct. I encourage you to take time to yourself to calm down, turn down the noise, and not think about blogging for a minute. If you give yourself permission to step away from your blog and your business for even an hour and just get lost in something you know you can get lost in. Like, I know that I can get lost in baking and turn on a podcast, or better yet, quiet. It's hard at first because we're so used to the noise. But the quiet will help you come up with creative ideas, problem solve, and process all of these emotions you're feeling around your business. So I encourage you, especially when you are feeling the panic, to take a step back for a minute. Because what I see happening is I see a lot of bloggers making impulsive and unnecessary buying decisions based on this panic. I see them getting stressed out to the point of giving up. And I see them wasting their time on stuff that's actually not that complicated. Okay. So there's some stuff that is really important, like ADA compliance. That's really important, right? Let's help our fellow human beings out. And in the meantime, you are helping your blog out too. But it's not as complicated as the people who profit off of it want you to think. Just going to let that hang there for a second. Rebecca says, now I'm just thinking of people jumping out in a herd of cows and causing a stampede. Yeah. Yeah. The next time you see a blogger panic happening, think of the wildebeest scene from Lion King and then ask yourself how you cannot contribute to that. Also, I encourage you to find a trusted advisor. Annie Richardson is great for any sort of tech thing. So if it's a tech thing that's stressing you out, so if there's a Google update coming, Annie's really good at talking people off ledges. She's talked me off ledges. I'm not saying I never panic, y'all. I'm saying I panic. And one time I was on a ledge about my site speed, and I had gotten my site speed really, really fast. It was quite fast, and I was splitting hairs pretty much over something that would make it pretty much unnoticeably faster. And Annie talked me down off that ledge. She's like, you could spend 3 days doing this, or you could just leave it because it's already super fast. So I recommend Annie Richardson if you need somebody to keep you grounded in the tech space. Hi, Willow. Good morning. How are you? Are you feeling better? Um, okay. Here's what I think blogger panic actually boils down to. I mean, let's remove all the external pieces, all the fear mongers, all the nefarious people trying to profit off of it, all the other wildebeests out there just trying to stay alive. uh, Willow's been stalking me on TikTok. She does that, you know. She's all of our cheerleader. Here's what it actually boils down to. It boils down to a lack of trust in yourself to make it as an online entrepreneur. Sorry, my allergies are horrible this morning. That's what it boils down to. And that's what, so when a Google update happens, I look at it as an opportunity. One, because I know I'm going to do the work, right? There are lots of bloggers out there who will not do the work to keep up with the Google updates and to refine their SEO with each Google update. There's a lot of bloggers out there that won't do that work. That is your opportunity to come out on top and to move up in the rankings. And two, I know that whatever life throws at me, I can figure out. And I try to remind myself of that. And I encourage you to remind yourself of that too, because you can. Y'all are smart, competent bloggers. And you're hardworking. You're so scrappy. I see you guys get so creative and so scrappy to figure stuff out, and I am so proud. Seriously. Whatever life throws at you, you are going to be able to figure out as an online entrepreneur, and you have to know that in your bones. Let's say your site wasn't ADA compliant, okay? And you really did need to worry about it. The panic comes in when we go, that little voice inside our head goes, you can't do this. You can't figure this out. This is something you can't do. This is where your blog dies. That's not true. You will be able to figure this out and you will proceed on in the direction of your dreams. Yeah, Amy says, Faith Mariah says this all the time. I hope it gets harder because I know I'll figure it out. Yes, I love that. Yes, and remember, James Wedmore says, ask yourself, why is this happening for me? Not why is this happening to me? Look at everything, even the shittiest situations that are stressing you the F out, as an opportunity to learn and grow. I was thinking about this the other day. My path to blogging, success, that's an air quotes for those of you who are just listening, because, what is success? But my path to making it where I want to go has felt really, really slow. And sometimes I ask myself, well, what would have happened if I had that instant success that we all hear about, but never really seems to happen that often for people? Right? Not really in the blogging world anymore. People used to experience that sort of success pretty quickly with Pinterest. That doesn't happen anymore. Right? So you go from a brand new baby blogger who's never owned a business before to a pretty successful as far as traffic and opt-ins and being able to sell stuff blogger in a matter of, I don't know, 6 months. What would have happened? So I asked myself, did I really want that? Because that's what I thought I wanted. Absolutely. But you know what happens when things change way too quickly all at once for Kelly? I freak the F out. So it all happened in perfect time, right? Because I would have freaked the F out and, maybe I would have had a mental breakdown or something. I don't know. It was actually, in retrospect, much, much better for me to go nice and slow, baby steps. Everything is happening for us. I'm missing the comments here. Yeah, that's right, Willow. Willow says you didn't make it this far for something to take you out. You have survived every other thing so far. 100%. Like, how many things, and actually, that's one of my points. Like, remind yourself of all the times you were here feeling this panic in the past and you made it out the other side. A lot of us felt this panic right away when we started our blogs, and it felt like drinking from an information fire hose. And we were wondering how we were ever going to keep this up, because when you start your blog and it feels like you're drinking from the information fire hose, it kind of feels like that's what blogging is, and it's never going to stop. You don't realize that at some point you'll hit a plateau and you'll feel pretty comfortable, and then when you level up it'll feel really intense again, and then you'll hit a plateau, right? But we don't know that in the beginning. But we made it through that and out the other side, and here we are. If you can make it through the beginning of starting a blog, you can make it through a Google algorithm update. The Google algorithm, the people who really need to worry about algorithm updates are people who, well, maybe they haven't worked on SEO at all. But even if they hadn't, and they're a good hearted blogger putting good stuff out into the world, they can always start, right? They can always start. It's the people who are out there making like really crappy spammy websites that should be quaking in their boots, and good. Right? Okay. Catching up on the comedy poos. Yeah. Rebecca says if it's easy, you're probably in your comfort zone, and that's a dangerous place to be. 100%. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, you get comfortable, you get more comfortable being uncomfortable the more you practice it. So the more you practice, um the hyenas bite at your ankles as a wildebeest. And the more you practice desensitizing to yourself to that and not freaking out, the easier it will become. And the more you practice living in the state of I'm uncomfortable, the easier it will become to live in that state. Because growth is uncomfortable. It is. Learning new things can be uncomfortable. But really, in blogging, you're learning new things all of the time. That's part of why I like it so much. Y'all, I switched jobs every 2 years because I would get bored. Every 2 years, I would switch jobs. Not necessarily professions, but locations, because I would get bored. It's never a dull moment in blogging. Hi, Rashonda. How are you? Paulette, I can't wait to see where this story is going. Yesterday, she says, yesterday I wanted pie after I avoided having cupcakes and Starbucks yummies, but the pie shop was closed. I asked the universe why this was happening for me. Pie was not in the equation last night. I do that same thing all of the time. Like, I'll be giving in to a craving for something sweet, and then I won't be able to get it like anywhere I go. One time I had a craving for butter horns, and every store I went to was sold out of them. Butter horns. I was like, okay, the universe does not want me to have butter horns today. Uh, yep. Willow needs constant change too. Yeah, it really did help me refrain the damn craving. Yes. Yeah, that helped me so much. The why is this happening for me? And again, that wasn't my idea. That came from James Wedmore. I stole it and I use it every single day. Seriously. Every day something comes up where I'm like, why is this happening for me? What is this teaching me right now? And it has reframed the way I look at the world. Okay. So when you are in the blogger panic mode, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that will happen? Allow yourself go to that place, because that's somewhere subconsciously in your mind, even if you're not aware of it. That's what's going on up there. Your mind is going, oh my God, there is a Google algorithm update. Your traffic's going to tank. This is going to implode your business. Everybody in your life is going to think you're a failure. You're going to have to go back to your crappy job or whatever. You're going to lose your house. Somewhere in there, your mind is totally catastrophizing this. Bring it to the conscious level and play it out. What is the absolute worst thing that could happen to you from this Google algorithm update? And then ask yourself, is that actually likely? Chances are no. And list out all the ways it's not likely to happen, right? Maybe the Google algorithm update is going to take away half your traffic, a significant amount of traffic to make your bottom line hurt. Then what? You will survive it because you have survived worse, right? So this all actually comes down to trusting yourself to make it as an online entrepreneur. And you have been through worse. We have made it through illnesses, we have made it through loss, we have made it through motherhood, parenthood, uh marriages, lots of tough stuff, right? You can handle a Google algorithm update even if it tanks your traffic. You can always deal with it because you are competent and scrappy and tough as nails. Okay, so is it actually like it? Likely, probably not. The answer is probably not most of the time, right? If there is something that consistently stresses you out, set up a system for it, right? Yes, Lisa says we gangsters. I love that. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that can happen. Well, 100% there's a lot of things that can happen. Who said that? Of course, it's Amy. Yes. There's no sense in worrying about before it happens. It's after the update that it matters what you do next. 100%. And like I said, that is an opportunity for you to go out and do the work, whereas a lot of bloggers will not. And definitely not the scammy bloggers, right? They get called out. So, if there's something that consistently stresses you out, set up a system for it. So, let's take the example of the Google update again, because that is one that is reoccurring. It's going to happen every 3 months or so, 6 months or so. If you always freak out at a Google update, prepare yourself a little kit. Write it down if you have to, right? Here's why I don't have to worry about this. I'm not saying don't care. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't have to worry because you're a badass, because you're a gangster, because you are tough as nails and you will figure it out, whatever it is. List out the resources you can go to that you trust for that particular thing. So again, if Google updates always send you flying, write down how you contact Andy Richardson. Right? Write it down so in the moment you have a spot to go to. Keep a Google Doc. Set up a system for it. I get wigged out about checking my email. I don't know what it is, but I do it with my business email and my personal email. If y'all have ever waited a long time for a response from Kelly, that's what's going on. I'm in my head about my email. My customer service email, I check once a day. I set up a system. So now I have an auto reply and I check it once a day. And my auto reply lets them know that they can expect a reply from me within a business day. And I'm here Monday through Friday from I don't know what hours I put on there, but I set up a system and I don't worry about that email now. I need a system for my other business email and my personal email. Set up a system that helps you chill out a little bit. And eventually just delegate that stuff, right? Lisa says I got to try inbox zero. Okay. I'm down. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm in my head about email a lot. Okay. So you guys tell me, what are some things that you have been panicking about in your business? Tell me in the comments. And why? Like, why do you think that is? Like, what are the self-defeating thoughts that come up. Why this particular thing? So, okay, right now, hot on the blogger panic is the Google update, ADA compliance, and the mass exodus from SiteGround, right? Why would those things in particular, like chances are there's probably one you're more worried about than the other. Why? Why that thing? There is probably a reason for it. There might be some shadow work you have to do around this. So when I really, really think about it, about why email stresses me out, it probably has something to do with fear of rejection. If I am being 100% honest, right? Some sort of unhealed wound in there to dig down and heal. So, of all the things you can be freaking out about, why this one thing? There's a reason, right? Because any given time, there's a bazillion different things we could be improving in our business. Yeah. Rebecca says the why is so important. Yeah, it's important if you ever want to get rid of it and have it stop happening. This is why a lot of bloggers give up, because they never learn to tame their nerves. And if you keep frying your nervous system every single time there is a Google algorithm update, you are going to burn out. Your business won't be enjoyable for you. You'll be scared of it. And it shouldn't be that way. Oh, thank you. Paulette says I like your hair down. Thank you. I they took some thinning scissors to it and I can actually have it down without it like totally stressing me out. Speaking of things that stress me out. I just have so much hair that when it's down, I feel like I can't see out of my peripheral vision and it drives me nuts. But I took the thinning shears to it. Victor, when I came home with my haircut, he goes, "You look prettier with your hair down." And I said, "Nope, try again." I'm just going to come back through that door. You can try again. Willow says, "I'm having trouble accessing my inner critic. I'm on my first week of the artist way. Oh, and my inner critic doesn't pop up anymore with affirmations. The artist way will help you, definitely help you dig down into that inner critic." Um, hmm. So it's interesting the way you phrased that. That you're having trouble accessing your inner critic. Like it's still there, but you're having trouble hearing it. So the problem with that is that it's still like affecting you, right? It's still in the background somewhere, but you're having trouble accessing it so you can refute it. So I wonder, well, I guess it's good that it doesn't pop up anymore with affirmations, right? That means that you probably you've probably done a really good job on that shadow work. But maybe find a place where it does still present itself. Who's that? Who says that? Amy says, I struggled with customer support emails because I felt like I was getting taken advantage of, like giving one-on-one assistance without customers paying for that. There's always a reason behind it. 100%. Yeah, there's probably some sort of story there, right? Some past experience where you were taken advantage of and you don't want to let it happen again. But we need to learn how to set boundaries and hold them, which Amy, I think you're good at. This is something I really had to work on, especially for the day job, customer service. I answer the phones. I am setting boundaries every single time I answer that phone. And some people are okay with it and some people aren't. And regardless of their reaction, I need to keep my baseline calm. Because again, if my mood fluctuates with every single caller's mood, I'm going to be rabid. Yeah. Lisa says, I'm actually going to close down my Facebook group because it freaks me out and I never know what to say. No engagement really, and it's mentally exhausting to me. I'm going to do IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah, and that's really interesting too, right? Like at what point do you decide to just cut something out that consistently freaks you out and isn't serving you, right? And you can have that conversation with yourself so you can know that this is the best decision for you. You don't have to do a Facebook group, right? That's not necessary. And you might be able to, I mean, I don't know how many people you have in there, but you might be able to like give that to somebody else. So you're passing it on to somebody else. Um, Rebecca got a baking group given to her. And because she was already really active in her group, she merged the two and it's been wonderful for her. Right? You could really, that could be a blessing for somebody else. 98. Yeah, that's a good start, right? Like when you're starting from zero with a Facebook group and you're like going live in there and there's literally nobody in there, that's really intimidating. 98 could be a blessing for somebody, right? To start with. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's Amy. Sorry, I read things and then I respond to them. And you guys don't know what I'm reading. Yeah, Amy says I'm pretty good at it now, but it wasn't always the case. Yeah, setting boundaries. It's really important. And again, the more you practice, the easier it will become. I was thinking last night about this customer we had who was kind of a pain in the butt. Every conversation was a 2-hour conversation. When they'd show up to drop off their vehicle, they would linger for like hours, and it was weird. And he was buying parts from us and he asked for a discount for no good reason, just cuz. And I said no. And he asked again and I said no. And he kept asking to the point where it was uncomfortable. And finally I just said, we don't give discounts and I got to go. You got to set those boundaries. But I was thinking about it because maybe just a year ago, I might have folded. But because I have practiced over and over and over setting those boundaries and in a way that's not necessarily confrontational, right? I'm just saying no and holding my line. I'm holding the line. And regardless of their reaction, I'm going to stay calm and set my boundaries. So just like Amy, she's pretty good at it now, but that wasn't always the case, right? It takes a lot of practice. Oh, Rebecca says, I'm also thinking of closing mine down too because the ROI is really low compared to other areas. I'm going to exchange it for TikTok, but I'll make pop-up groups for launches. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? If something is energetically draining to you, and as long as you are making the decision from a place of like self-love and care and not fear, panic, right? Like let's say the panic of the week next week is that some study comes out that says Facebook groups are dead. And then there's a mass exodus and everybody shuts down their Facebook group. As long as it's not that sort of knee jerk reaction where you're just blowing up your business because of some sort of bad feeling you want to run away from, because that bad feeling will just be there waiting for you somewhere else. Yeah, if it's a decision based on like, hey, I looked at this, the ROI is not worth it. I could spend that energy better somewhere else. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I love my Facebook group. But that's just me. You guys know I dote over y'all. That's just what works for me. Like some people do their best content on their weekly emails, right? I feel like a lot of my best content are my live streams. And that's cuz that's what works for me. And for that person, live streams might not work, right? Your blogging empire gets to be your blogging empire. Doesn't have to look, this isn't the Burbs, right? It's not, what was that show, Weeds, where we all look just the same. We're all made out of ticky tacky and we all look just the same. That's not us. We're all building our own personalized business. Okay. My group has very low engagement, but I love having it. I'm practicing every little thing before launching. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, in my group, I mean, my group's still like a micro group compared to other people's groups, right? We have like 400 members and I love it. I show up here like there are 50,000 people here, right? But that's because it really jibes with me energetically to be here. It feels really good to be here and like tend to my Facebook group. We all build yourself a business that makes you feel good to show up to, right? It's your queen bee rule. Yeah. Okay, friends. What other questions do you have about the panic? Thank you. Lisa says, I decided for the ADA stuff on the blog, I will be tackling one spreadsheet at a time. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Watch out for the predators in our space, okay? Not everybody with a giant following is actually out to serve their audience best interests. Some of them are just trying to make a buck. Nothing wrong with making that paper, but you can make that paper and help your audience, right? It is very easy to be on the up and up. Exceedingly easy. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm reacting to comments I'm not reading out loud again. For my current launch, I have a link for each platform. Cool, Rebecca. My group gets the most amount of clicks, but the least amount of signups. Oh, that's really interesting compared to IG and my email list. Ooh, I love my data nerd brain is going ding, 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 ding. I love that. That's interesting. Okay. So getting the most amount of clicks, but the least amount of signups. So I'm wondering, what are you, I guess I would be wondering what you're doing differently in your Facebook group versus your IG and email list. Or maybe like, are the people on in your Facebook group also the people that follow you over on IG and your email list? I don't know. I have questions. I got questions, girl. Uh Willow says a lot of sites that get sued for ADA are sites that get told repeatedly that their sites are harmful or non-compliant and they just don't care and keep doing harmful things. Yeah, right. I'm not saying ADA compliance isn't important. It super is. Like, care about your other people and strive to make their experience a good one. Just saying, maybe it's not as complicated as we being the collective we are making it. Right, the bloggers as a whole. Alrighty, friends. I hope this helps you. So the next time you panic, remember that you're a badass blogger. You're scrappy as hell. You made it this far. You have undoubtedly made it through worse, and you can make it through this. The big panics where people actually have to panic about stuff, that's not you guys. You guys are here doing the work. You're going to continue to do the work. Eventually, you're going to be big enough to hire somebody to do the work for you, right? It's not always going to be this way. And the next time the panic of the week comes up, you're going to be that much more Teflon activated, right? You're going to be that much more Teflon. Each time you say no to the panic, no thank you. Yes, I care about this, but I got this. I can do it. You are wearing that neural pathway. The neural pathway that went straight from I have to care about this to I have to worry about this is getting weaker. And the neural pathway that leads from I care about this to I got this and I can handle it and it's not a big deal, as in I'm not going to freak out, is getting deeper, right? We're wearing that path and we're letting the other path die. What's that? Raverly was super harmful flash stuff a few years ago that was causing seizures. Oh my gosh. I hope they got sued because they were told they were causing harm and they said, too bad, we like this design. That's awful. I don't know what Raverly is, but that's horrific. Yes, those are the people that should be panicking. And that's not you guys. 100%. If any of you were told your website was causing seizures, you would like shut it down today, regardless of what traffic was going on, and not launch it until your design was seizure free. I know it, right? The people who do not care are the people who should be panicking. Okay. And I encourage you to be liberal with that mute button. Wherever the panic is coming from, usually it's Facebook groups, let's be honest. um it there's it's usually the same Facebook groups and it's usually the same people that are fear mongering. Mute them, block them. Do what you got to do to protect your sanity, or just stay out of those groups. But I understand if there's value in that group, you want to stay in there, right? That you can just mute certain people or block certain people so you don't see their fear mongering. You don't need that. Do your brain a favor. So instead of having to filter that out, you're just not seeing it. You got enough stuff going on, right? All right, friends. I love you so much. I hope you all have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Oh, last year I did a Black Friday thing. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. I did a Black Friday self promo thread in the group, and I went through there on the Friday and I looked at everybody's. I did like an hour-long live where I looked at everybody's um Black Friday offer. So we will have that again this year. So look for it. It will go up Friday morning, and post your thingy in there, and then we'll look at it on a live stream together. I will have a Black Friday deal for all y'all. I'm pretty excited about it. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I hope you all have a really, really good Thanksgiving full of turkey and gravy. And for me, lefse. All right, friends. So I guess I'll see you Friday. Yeah, I'll see you on Black Friday. And if you need anything, post it in the group. Love you lots. See you soon. Bye.